You're listening to this week's podcast from The Next Round with Robert and Maria.
Hello, Mr. Ray Flores.
What's going on? How are you guys?
Hey, wonderful. How are you?
I am great. Just driving away for tomorrow night's show.
It's great to hear your voice, Mr. Flores. Ray, I know.
Hey, always a pleasure to talk to you guys.
Now, what are your thoughts? I mean, we were just going over the undercards for this past Saturday night for Mayweather versus Maidana. There were so many, many good bouts that night, and we were just starting out with talking about Cruz versus Roman.
Well, I tell you what, I was really impressed by the performance of Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz looked outstanding. He did what he was supposed to do. This was kind of a trap fight for Santa Cruz because of the fact that, he was facing a former sparring partner of his in terms of Manuel Roman. He went out there, he started him in the second round. I know people were not overly impressed by the performance of Mickey Bay, but Mickey Bay fought a guy that went ahead and he did what he had to do to win the title on Saturday night. Mickey Bay is fourth world champion out of the Mayweather Promotions team. And then it was also sad to see the performance of Alfredo Angulo when he went ahead and he got, pretty much blasted and defeated by James De La Rosa, who was a pretty big underdog.
Right.
Angulo had some signs in moments where he demonstrated old power, but for the most part, I was sitting there ringside, guys, and he looked like just a movie punching bag, and that was sad. But also, one guy who kind of gained a renaissance in his career was Humberto Soto, who defeated John Molina Jr. on the pay-per-view pre-show. And Soto has had over 70 fights, looked outstanding. It was a crazy fight because both Molina and Soto were trading low blows back and forth.
Right. Soto
ended up the victor. So overall, I thought it was a terrific night of action. Mickey Bay's performance against Miguel Vasquez is going to be looked upon as less than stellar. But at the end of the day, guys, it's about getting W's, and we did get a co-feature. We did get an outstanding and an exciting end to the co-feature with Santa Cruz star Manuel Roman. I'd like to see Santa Cruz fight either Guillermo Rigondeaux or possibly Scott Quigg. Who knows what's going to happen, but all I know is that Santa Cruz says he'd love to fight by the end of 2014.
Now, I know tomorrow you're going to be ring announcing at the Horseshoe Casino there for Hits Boxing. Now, who are you excited? What bout are you excited most about for that night for tomorrow?
Well, I'm really excited because, guys, it's the return of Antonio Canaz. Canaz is fighting an undefeated prospect coming up as well. Canaz, I've never seen him in a boring fight, whether it be MMA or boxing. And Canaz is in the main event. Also, a couple younger guys as well. Sam Horowitz, who was supposed to make his debut a couple of months ago, will be making his foray into the boxing ring rather than MMA. I think Sam Horowitz always puts on a show as well. So I'm really excited to see the younger guys. Also, younger gentleman, Fred Bowen, who no matter who he fights is a durable young fighter and is, really a challenge for anybody who he steps in the ring with. So I'm excited about tomorrow night's card. It's great that you guys will be there as well. So I'm pretty pumped up about what's to happen tomorrow evening when it comes to Hits Boxing.
Now, go ahead.
So just going back to the Mayweather fight, what did you think about that Mayweather fight? What was the most exciting point of the fight for you?
Well, I mean, you look at a couple of things. I think the most exciting part was, aside from Floyd's dominance in the fight, Robert, is the fact that Floyd did have some trouble in that fourth round where Maidana had him against the ropes and was unloading shots on him. But the difference between this fight compared to the first one back in May is that Floyd was able to fight better off the ropes, and people do not, I think it should be talked about more, because Floyd had a better game plan in terms of how to fight off the ropes. People were saying, Floyd did a lot of clutching and grabbing. Kenny Bayless had a big part to do with the fight. Kenny Bayless was doing his job, and like it or not, yes, I mean, could he have maybe broken up the fight, a couple times too premature? Yeah. But guess what? Tony Weeks, who was the referee in the first fight, broke it up too late sometimes. So, yeah, would we like to have something more in the middle? Absolutely. But this is a judgment call by the referee. There is no right or wrong answer, and it just happened that Kenny Bayless elected to step in the moments in which he did. But like I said, I thought Floyd's ability to fight off the ropes was better. The ability from him, how smart he is, to negate the wildness and the power of Marcos Maidana to go and clutch and grab him and then turn him around. Those are all smart defensive tricks that need to be looked at and need to be applauded because a veteran fighter like that, like Floyd, does things like that. This is the get hit and not get hit business, and that is exactly what Floyd Mayweather did on Saturday night.
You're totally correct. Now, we have to go to some commercial breaks right now, but, I mean, are you able to stick around with us?
Yeah, I'm able to stick with you guys, no problem.
All right, cool. So, hey, you want to keep here and talking to Mr. Ray Flores. We're going to be talking about more of Mayweather and, more upcoming bouts that are coming up in October and November, too. So you don't want to miss out on that there. This is the next round, the Knockout Queen and the champ. This is the Knockout Queen. Listening here to the next round here, the champ, Robert Mercado.
Hey.
And SportsTownChicago.com. And we have Mr. Ray Flores, Mr. Ring Announcer, Mr. ESPN Anchor, also for ESPN 1000. Hey. Thank you for joining us here, keeping up with us here.
Not a problem, buddy. Always a pleasure to be on.
Always a pleasure having you here. Now, we can just get right back into it. We were discussing some of the undercards just a little bit ago. And also, we wanted to ask you, too, I mean, how do you feel? What are your thoughts on the whole Mayweather versus Pacquiao?
Well, I'll tell you what, as I was there, and normally we hear about that there's either side isn't necessarily open to maybe work with one another. I will tell you this, in all the years that I have been around this and have seen it, I think it has a possibility to happen. Now, if Pacquiao goes out and does what he's supposed to do against Chris Algieri, I don't think there is. I think it's maybe 50-50 because of the fact that Floyd said, without question, well, hey, I'm open. It seems like both sides are open to talking with one another. It seems like both sides will go to their respective networks, Pacquiao with HBO, Mayweather with Showtime, and they will massage and find a way to get this done if talks really get heated up. The question is, will Floyd want to work with Bob Arum, who he's had a dispute with ever since he decided to leave the top-ranked banner? And that was, I would say, probably as early as 2006. So it just all depends on if Pacquiao is able to win, if the numbers are correct. Can they settle in on a venue, will it be at the MGM Grand, or will it be at the new venue that is opening up in Las Vegas right behind the New York, which is being operated by the MGM Grand. So it's, there are a lot of intangibles, but guys, I'll be honest with you, I think that there is more of a possibility than ever. I'm not saying it's a strong possibility, but it was open, and Floyd did say, I have no problem talking with the other side. We can, when the time comes, he's got someone to deal with. Pacquiao has Chris Algieri in front of him. That needs to be taken care of first. Once that happens, then he will sit down with his team, Al Heyman himself, his promotional company, and kind of figure out what is going on.
So you think it's more of a behind-the-scenes thing instead of Mayweather ducking? Because I was reading an article a little while ago about how Pacquiao actually thinks that Maidana actually won this last fight. I don't know if you read that article yet. There's a little trash talking. Yeah, he's a little trash talk going on.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, I like Manny a lot, Robert, but I'll be honest with you. If Pacquiao thinks that Maidana won this last fight or even the first fight, Manny may have taken a couple of shots to the head too many.
And he has.
Because there's no way Maidana and any credible judge will sit there. And Tim Cheatham is a good judge along with Robert Hoyle, both guys from Las Vegas. You will sit down and you can analyze every single round, and there's no way that Marcos Maidana won 7 rounds in either fight. There's no way that Maidana won 6 rounds, so you can't even call it a draw. So for Manny to say that Maidana won either 2 of the fights, well, hey, listen, Manny's out there in terms of this.
Well, he may be getting a little desperate for that payday. I consider what it really is a payday. If Pacquiao, if Mayweather and Pacquiao get together, that's what I would consider a big payday that Pacquiao's been waiting for a long time. The one thing I don't isn't the lust for the Pacquiao Mayweather fight a little past gone a little bit, since Pacquiao's record ain't what it was when everybody really wanted that fight, because Pacquiao's lost, so it's not the same lust as it once was. I mean, what do you
I'll tell you this, Robert, and I apologize for cutting you off, is that, a couple of years ago this would have been unbelievable, and it's still massively big. There are reports from various media sources that Maidana Mayweather #2 did 925,000 pay-per-view buys. He did almost 1 million buys against a guy who he beat in the first fight, and it was close, but it wasn't ridiculously close.
Yeah.
That's what Floyd does. He is a lightning rod, good or bad, when it comes to the court of public opinion. You put Pacquiao in there with him, this thing was over 2 million.
Yeah.
That may not be what it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
But, okay,
but you're still...
2 or 3 years ago, they would have maybe gained, probably had 3 million pay-per-view buys. If they fight in 2015 or maybe even 2016, it'll probably be 2.2. That's still amazing numbers.
Right.
And a
no, true.
ridiculous amount of money that's coming into the coffers of the Mayweather Promotions team, of, Manny Pacquiao, Showtime, HBO. Everyone's getting paid.
So what happens?
Yam's getting paid. What
happens if Pacquiao loses to Algieri this time around, though? Well, where does that?
Then,
because it's a good. There's a good chance,
I don't see that happening. But
you know what, Marty, I think, and Robert, I think that Algieri is going to be a tougher opponent than what people think. I actually had an opportunity in the ring on Thursday night last week. I saw Joe DeGuardia, who is from Star Boxing, who happens to be Chris Algieri's promoter, and they're very confident in that camp. Joe has had a strong belief on Chris Algieri ever since he signed him day one, and Algieri has nothing to lose and everything to gain. He's athletic. He's a unique style. He's a smart fighter. The question is with Algieri, will the lights get to him? I don't think so. Algieri's 30 years of age. He's finally getting his break, and he's handling it well every step of the way. He was almost a media darling in New York when they had the Pacquiao and Algieri press conference. Whether that'll translate to a W or not, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But it's not going to be as easy of a fight as what people think on November 22nd in Macau, China.
And you know what? He's not going to get clocked like that. What was it, the second round when he got clocked and he had his eye busted open? He's probably going to get to fight a whole fight without a busted eye this time as well. And
well, you know what? You're probably right, because I think when it comes to one-shot knockout power, maybe I'm a little crazy here, or maybe I'm drinking the Ruslan Provodnikov too late, because I like Ruslan a lot, and I think he is an outstanding fighter and an exciting fighter. But I don't think that Pacquiao can hit Algieri as hard as he was by one punch as he was hit back on June 14th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Algieri fought with one eye for 11 rounds.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, that is phenomenal.
That's crazy to me.
It is.
So what happens if Algieri does go along and win this fight against Pacquiao? Does this all of a sudden change the cards where Algieri has maybe a chance to fight a Mayweather?
I don't think so.
I
mean, there's a possibility, but man, oh man, you go from Provodnikov to Pacquiao and now to Mayweather. I think what they'll probably do, if that were to happen, they'll probably have Chris have another homecoming fight. That's all assuming that he does beat Manny Pacquiao. What I think would happen then is that you can pretty much put the nail in the coffin in regards to Pacquiao and Mayweather. I think right now, as we're looking at it, if the Mayweather and Pacquiao fight doesn't happen, you're looking at a couple of the cast of characters. Cast of characters happen to be Amir Khan and Keith One-Time Thurman. Amir Khan's supposed to be fighting Horseshoe Lopez, who defeated Rafael Cobos back last Thursday in the opening fight. Lopez didn't look good, got the win, and I think he still did well enough to garner that fight with Amir Khan. Whether Khan will fight here stateside or in the UK, I don't know. I think Khan, just for his brand and to try to gain popularity here in the United States, should fight Horseshoe Lopez here in the United States. So if Amir Khan defeats Horseshoe Lopez, then he's on the list. Keith One-Time Thurman is coming back from a shoulder injury. I talked with him in Las Vegas last week. Very smart guy, powerful, young fighter, under the Al Heyman banner. If Keith Thurman wins his comeback fight, whether it be in November or December, assuming his shoulder is okay, then he's in line for a possible crack at Floyd. I would much rather see Keith Thurman fight Floyd Mayweather rather than Amir Khan, because, listen, Amir Khan's got a glass jaw. I can go to him, shake his hand, and if I were to touch him even a little bit, guess what? I'm knocking out Amir Khan. Robert, you can knock out Amir Khan. Hey, Marty, get on a pair of boxing gloves. You can knock out Amir Khan, because he doesn't have a jaw, doesn't have whiskers. They've been tested, and he's fallen before. Regis Prescott rocked his world, and he's never been able to recover from that. Good boxing ability, solid for the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then he depreciates significantly. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but if Luis Collazo would have been smart and not would have worried about the referee back in May, Collazo would have knocked him out. So
I hear you on that. I hear you on that, Mr. Flores.
Oh my goodness! Well, thank you so much, Ray Flores. Always a pleasure having you on here with us. Looking forward to seeing you ring announce tomorrow at the Hollywood at the Horseshoe Casino tomorrow with Hits Boxing.
Absolutely. There. Guys, looking forward to it. We're always glad to have the next round out. I know you guys are at the cell. Looking forward to having you at Hits Boxing tomorrow night. Good night of action. Antonio Canaz and stuff, and I'll preface this. Don't wear white because anytime Antonio Canaz is in the ring, especially if you're sitting ringside, you want to get blood on your nice shirts and stuff. So don't wear white.
All right, thanks for that tip.
Thank you, I appreciate it, Rez.
All right, we'll talk to you.
Have a great one.
You too. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was the Next Round podcast. For more podcasts and information, go to SportsTownChicago.com.